right now, we have a very, very special guest that we're bringing in today. It's Tony Trombetta from EGS. It is a new, relatively new grading service, comic book grading service. So very happy to have him on. Tony, how you doing, man?
What's going on, guys?
Hey, how's it going, Tony?
All right.
Tony, now, before we start, are you excited about The Mandalorian?
I am.
Okay, good.
I'm stoked, man. I can't wait. I can't wait.
All right, I'm glad we brought you on then, because that's the answer we wanted to hear.
Yes. Man, I'll say, Tony, we talked before. I've got to know a lot about your, company over the past year or so. And again, very happy to have you on today. Very humbled to have you join us. So obviously, we want to talk about expert grading service in your company. But before we get into that, let's just dive into a little bit about you and what got you here. So can you just kind of tell us about, your love for comics, what got you into comics and in the hobby itself?
Oh, yeah. Well, it all started back when I was probably 10 or 11 years old, getting into comics, which was a long time ago. But I've, mostly been, reader, collector for a very long time. And, as everybody knows, there was a big transition when CGC started and this whole, getting over to the graded stuff opposed to just the regular people putting their own grades on things. So, a little bit of my background is basically, worked in a comic shop for probably my first, 5 to 7 years, cut my teeth doing that. My grading was taught to me by, of course, the owner of the shop back then, kind of showed me the ins and outs of grading. But again, that was back then, which now is a totally different animal.
Right.
So I had to, learn and understand the new style of grading. When I felt that the need to open up EGS, so that's why we are very transparent in the fact that I was taught by the Overstreet grading guide. That's how I was taught how to grade by that standard. And that's the standard that EGS uses. So, we make that very well known to people. So there's no guessing on, how EGS does things. And, I would suggest, anybody that knows Chris in his channel, he did a video, when was it? A couple of days ago it came out, Chris? On how to grade a comic. If you guys want to kind of get a feel on how EGS comes to a grade and how they grade a book, I would suggest watching Chris's video. We obviously are a little more detailed about it, but Chris, you give a really good outline on how we do things and how we come to the conclusions that we do. And we felt that it was, that was one of our pillars, was to be transparent and to let everybody know how we do things, why they're getting their grade, how we got to that grade. And again, it doesn't mean you're going to agree with us all the time, right? But at least this is how we did it and this is what we saw. And absolutely. I think that's really important.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Real quick, I just want to shout out to the audience. You guys, if you have any questions, Tony's here to answer them. I see one from Candesius. That we'll ask for you once we get through the interview. But again, he's here to answer questions. He's making himself available to talk about his business. And speaking of your business, obviously you gained a lot of experience working in the comic book shop and went from there. But what did you see that was missing from the market that kind of gave you the inspiration to launch EGS?
I would say one of the biggest things is, one, the non-transparency of things. The way that, to me, you're treated as a customer by these big entities. It's more like, hey, we're not here for you. We're here for us to make a ton of money. And, it's our way or the highway. And that's it. I felt that there was a better way to do things, a more transparent way to do things. And I felt that, there were also things that you were paying for that I felt you necessarily shouldn't be paying for, that they're making money on. Who wants to wait 2-3 months for a book? I'm a, collector myself, and, I don't like my book away from me for more than a day, really, we felt that, having a more reasonable turnaround time, so you're not away from your book as long, was also very important.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Tony, you talked about transparency. I was going to ask this as the next question, just diving into that a little more. First off, I absolutely agree. I think in anything that anyone does, especially business, there needs to be transparency. I think consumers on the consumer end sometimes forget that they hold so much power because their purchasing power is what drives companies. You talked about the transparency with EGS. You talked about, and I'll just show right here, I talk about this book a lot, the Overstreet Guide to Grading Comics. They show a very detailed system. You were just speaking to this about how this is really, really a core of how you guys grade your books. I wanted to ask you, because I truly believe that there's a lot of people out there that are, spending the money to, get their books graded by CGC or CBCS. And even though, nobody's going to deny here that, especially with CGC, there's such a industry standard right now in the go-to, the demand is there for the CGC. It's shown on the market. But do you believe that the lack of transparency behind closed doors with these other larger companies is one of two things? One, do you feel like it's going to evolve and become more transparent as time passes? Or two, do you feel like they're going to, try to keep those doors closed as much as they can, which might inevitably hurt them in the long run?
That's hard, because I think, that's a question for them. I don't know how they think. I can only speak to what I believe and what my company does. And I believe that everybody should have the right to at least know, what we're looking at, how we're grading their book, and know that, you're getting graders notes with every single book under a 10. It could be a 9.9, a 9.8, and you're still going to know why we gave it a 9.9 or a 9.8. Not, oh, I get my book back, it's a 9.8. Well, why wasn't it a 10? Well, you're never going to know, right? So, we felt like all of this was, necessary for everybody to have. And whether they're going to be more transparent, man, I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so. But again, they are such well-oiled machines, and the money that these guys are making, I don't know if they would ever feel a need to do that. I don't know. I hope they would. Again, Chris, we've talked about this. I'm all for a one standard. I'm all for it's all the same for everybody across the board.
Yes.
I wish we had that. I wish that, frankly, that all our comics, whether it was ours or CBCS or PGX or whoever, I wish they were all about the same money on the market. Because, what really hurts me as a new and up and coming is that you've had these guys in the industry for at least 10 years, and CGC, it's God knows way more than that. They're already in and entrenched and a staple in the industry, and everybody's, already made them the standard. But I feel that a lot of it also comes down to, hey, you know what? My book is going to be worth, more in a CGC case than an EGS case or a CBS case or PGX case. So, I just wish it was more on the merit of the company. It's the company's merit that makes the grade and the price of the book the way it is. But it is what it is. The people set the market, so all we can do is just keep doing the best we can every single day, keep doing the right thing every single day, and years down the road, I'm sure, hopefully we'll be up there with everybody else. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you keep having a philosophy like that. That's comforting for consumers. If you're just joining us, we have Tony Trombetta, president of EGS. They are a relatively new grading service for comic books. So Tony, because it's crazy that we have to say that transparency is kind of unique in your industry.
Yeah.
But on top of you guys being transparent in your grading process, your grades, why you grade things, what else distinguishes you from your competitors?
Well, listen, I think the customer service is one. That's always going to be one on top all the time is customer service. Two, the consistency in the grading, okay? Because again, we have our standard. It's a very laid out standard that, when you know what you're doing and how to grade by that, it's very consistent. I would probably say other things are, we're saving you, turnaround times. We're saving you, you're not away from your book for a longer period of time. The customer service, the overall experience you're going to get with EGS is much different. Okay. We don't believe in a membership fee, right? Why? Even though granted, I get it. Once you pay the membership fee, you get a credit on your books, but why should you have to come out of that out of pocket up front? You might have to buy groceries one week, man. You might have to, put gas in the car. Whatever the case is, we feel that there should never be a membership fee. You should choose who you want, and you shouldn't have to pay for it. That's a big thing about us. Also, we don't charge you on the value of your book. We don't make any money on because it's a Hulk 181 or it's a Venom 27. It's the value is the value. The cost is the cost. There's no, extra fee because 181 is worth $5,000 and the one you just got off the shelf might be worth $1 or $5. Okay. I just think that, that those are reasons. And just to show you, I have a couple here that will show you kind of the difference between us and the other guys. We don't believe in a 1-2 label system to where, it has to be a blue label for your certified. It has to be a yellow label for your signature. We give you the options of color matching, doing colored labels, doing custom labels to match your book. You have the option. You don't, the colored labels are $5 extra. If it's a custom label that we're doing for you, that we're adding a certain, effects into, it's $10, but you don't have to do that. You could get the standard blue, the standard yellow for free that comes with the service. But I'll just kind of show you, I brought a couple along here that we just did that are going to be shipping out in this case. So you can kind of see this is like this is what we call the gradient label. It's a $5 colored label. And as you can see, it really makes that comic stand out. As you can see, it's, same size, same everything. It's everything is displayed on the label. It's just a different color, right? It's just a different, something that's really going to make your comic pop to where, whether you're showing somebody, whether you're putting it on a wall, putting it on a stand, however you want to do it, when you're showing somebody, people are going to be, wow, what is that, right? I've got this one. I'll show you another one. This would be a custom one that we did, that we just did, as you can see here. see it good there. You know, that's got the all the little hearts in there to match the book. And as you can see, you know, all the information is on the label. And, you know, Chris, it's the correct information, which is important, right, Chris? So there you go. There's that. And here's one of our signature books. And as you can see, you know, you don't have to just have that signature yellow label. There is the signature label on this book here. As you can clearly see here, up here, you can see the signature series there in the bubble, so you know it's a signature series book. Also, you know, it's signed by the artist on the label. This is another one of the custom labels. This is a $10 label as well. But again, you know, I mean, it's your choice. And, you know, we just felt that, you know, why should something have to have a color to mean what it is, right? I mean, I never really understood that. And especially now with the age of the artists, how all these artists are just doing such magnificent covers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Absolutely.
I think it really gives you the opportunity to accentuate that. And, you know, I mean, we're under the belief that to us, it adds to the book. Now,
Right.
There's some people that say it takes away from the book, but we feel that it actually adds the book to where, you know, when you're showing somebody or you're, like I said, you're hanging it up or you're doing whatever, man, it just complements that book. So, you know, I mean, CGC kind of does that a little bit because they have the characters on their book, but they're still the same color. They never change the color. It's just having a character on there. So,
Yeah.
you know, we felt that, you know, having the color change to match what you want was a really big thing. That to me is going to set us apart from everybody else as well. I mean, besides, you know, I don't want to get away from how good we grade, how consistent we grade, because I think that's really important too. And I don't want the colored labels to kind of overshadow that. But it is an option, and we felt it was a great option to give people. And so those are, you know, those are some things there that we feel are different, that we do that the others don't. So
I think you really hit on it. And by the way, I still have, I saw what you did with some of the Todd McFarlane Spider-Man #1s, the silver and the gold variants, and how you did the custom labels for those. I am saving my issues of those to send out to you because I just, that's where, see, and this is where you have a niche market here with the custom labels. And it's not like the custom label defines your company. It's an option.
right.
So, you know, and with that being said, I think you hit the nail on the head when it comes to customer service, and also how you just brought up the fact that you don't want to overshadow the fact that this is about a grading service. I think a lot of people might forget that, look, it's not just about the case. It's about what you're doing with the book that's in the case, and that's giving it a certified grade. And yeah, Tony, I mean, I think from my experience with what you're doing, I appreciate the transparency. I think there's great consistency there, and I think people can really appreciate that. And going back to my last question,
yeah.
I do feel like there's going to be more transparency in the grading industry. We know we had CGC come out with a video a couple weeks ago where they gave us a little bit of taste. They dropped some crumbs, not too much though, right?
Yeah.
So I think there's room to evolve, and this kind of leads me into my last question. You know, when I look at the grading industry, I still see it as being it's an infant. You know, it's in its infancy. It's only been here for 20 years. Comic books, at least the age of the superhero, has been here for over 80 years. You know, so there's a lot of room for this industry to grow. And yes, you know, we know that CGC came off the ground running, but we forget how much CGC has evolved. CBCS has evolved, whether that's in their casings or their labels or just the service that they provide. I personally think that this industry is going to evolve to where the healthy competition evolves with it. With that being said, let me just ask you, being at your company, where do you see EGS evolving, say, within the next 5 years?
Well, obviously, we are going to evolve, in my estimation, to having a little different product. I mean, I can foresee us having a different case in the next 5 years. You know, we are in development right now on a case. So, you know, I see us having a different, you know, a different case in the future. But I mean, listen, you know, I would be happy to where in the next 5 years, if whoever is talking about comics or a grading company, you know, EGS is going to be just in the conversation, right? I mean, because, you know, so many people right now, when they talk grading, it's CGC, CBCS, PGS. And, you know, I would hope within the next 5 years that EGS are going to be in those conversations. You know, I foresee us, you know, in the next 5 years being able to get out there to cons and other things to meet everybody and get our names out there to where, like I said, we're just coming on the conclusion of our second year coming here in January. And, you know, we've only been able to go to a couple conventions. So, you know, besides social media, you know, that's our only platform to let people even know that we're even here. Never mind, you know, how we do things and what our product looks like, right? So my thing is hopefully within 5 years that, you know, we're going to be known, right? We're going to be in those conversations with these other guys. So
let me just make it clear too. I don't know if we said, but you've only been EGS has only been in business for, you know, a little over a year. And you know, before I even spoke with you the first time or even knew the man behind the curtain, knew of the man behind the curtain, I remember how I came about EGS. And look, I'm involved. I'm on YouTube. You know, involved in the community. I'm on countless Facebook groups. And I'll tell you, you know, I learned about EGS by word of mouth and people sharing it. And I will tell you, over probably, you know, the last, you know, well, it started probably over the last year, really. I have seen and heard more and more talk. So I can already, as somebody that's very much a fan at this point of the service, you know, I already see that uptick happening. And, you know, so I definitely, you know, encourage you and you guys to keep doing what you're doing. I truly believe with all my heart, there's a market out there. And for all the viewers, I just want to make it clear. I don't BS, you know, if I talk about a product, you guys probably know me. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. Look, you know, EGS right now, look, you guys got a tough competition out there. We know what CGC is. We know what CBCS is, but I'm very, very optimistic with your company, with the product, and where you guys are going to go in the future.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that, man. I'm humble, truly humble. Thank you.
Absolutely. I applaud you and try to, you know, mix it up and do something a little bit different on top of being transparent and putting the customer first. I think that's admirable. And I'm excited to see where EGS goes. A lot of other people are excited about this. There's a lot of questions in the comments. We're going to try and get to every one of them, everybody. So let's start off with Candesius. I think that's how you pronounce it. What was the earliest comic you, Tony, can recall grading, and what was your favorite comic you enjoyed grading?
The earliest comic I've graded, as age-wise, I'm assuming the age.
Yeah, I would think that's age. Yep.
I've done a few We've done some Golden Age. I believe I've done a Golden Age Wonder Woman. I don't remember the number. It was a Golden Age Wonder Woman. It was also a Golden Age Lone Ranger. I remember that. And as far as my favorite comic to grade, I'm probably gonna have to say I would probably say Daredevil 1. I did a Daredevil 1, and that was probably just my favorite, just because it's probably the most expensive book that I've come across to grade and handle. So I was really, proud and excited to do it. So I would probably say that book was my favorite.
What was the grade on that book?
I want to say a 4.
Oh, 4. Okay.
Not bad.
Right.
Not bad.
Not bad. I mean,
any of us would love having that in their collection.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So Bishner, we're gonna ask this question for Bishner. Now let's try. We're not a 3-hour show here, so let's try and keep it concise. But so Bishner, he loves everything that you said, but what's your opinion of First? Meaning, what's your appearance of First versus County?
Oh, guys, get your sleeping bags and everything. We're having a all-nighter with this.
I'm gonna go get a beer. I'll be right back, guys.
Oh, wow. You
don't have to answer that either.
Listen, there's definitely we do not have enough time to get into that subject, because I can go on and on. I mean, I think me and Chris had a little conversation, and we were on the phone for like an hour and a half, and we just scratched the surface.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah, I'm not gonna get into what I think. We go by what is really what we do mostly our stuff from Comic Realm. We feel that they're pretty decent in their the way they interpret things. But even them, I might have a little problem with sometimes. But that's just my own personal opinion. So we don't have enough time for me to get into.
Thank you.
We really.
Bishner, we love that you asked that question, but we have other stuff we have going on the show too today. By the way, the boy who had 7, he says he likes 9.8s. Of course he does, because he has at least over 100 of them.
He had 100. Does.
I don't know if you follow him, but it's incredible him showing, like, he had a book a day for like 3 months. Is insane.
Nothing wrong with that.
What's that?
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, there's definitely nothing wrong. I think we're all jealous. But anyways,
yeah.
So Joseph Pantalon, why are you seeing security tabs on the sides? I think he was referring to when you brought up your specific case.
Yeah. Okay, so these cases, right here, why you're seeing these security stickers is because we use something known as a comic skin. Now, what we do is we have to modify the comic skin to make sure they are foolproof and seal-proof, to where that if you want to get in, like cracking a CBC S slab or CGC slab, you have to crack it to get it open. Well, this one, you have to go through the security seals to get it open. And we make sure that, we have 2 layers of stickers on the sides of these things. So to where when you want to get into it, you're going to know, or anybody is going to know, that slab was tampered with, right, and somebody tried to get in it. So that's what we had to do for the cases that we have now that we're offering. But again, like I was telling you, we're getting to the point here. Hopefully, we have something in the design phase right now. So our newer cases is going to be more maybe to what everybody else is a little more used to, where you're going to have to crack it out. But I like our product now. What we have, I think it's really good, and you have to start somewhere, right? So we felt that doing this, and by the way, it's a lot of extra time and money to do what we do to these things, so you guys will have a secured case. So in the future, when we do make our own. We won't have that. It'll just be something like, the other companies, to where it just comes together and you have to actually crack it out. So, hopefully we're hoping maybe sometime next year we can launch that. I'll tell you, it's a very slow process to do these things. But we have our fingers crossed that, maybe next year we're going to even have something even a little more different. But anyway, to answer your question, that's why we do the security seals. Is the security seals is for you have that security on your book.
Excellent. All right. Bishner does have a comment. He loves the color matching. That's an amazing touch. Again, you guys are the only ones that do that. I mean, CGC does that to a point, but you guys go all out there. I mean, it's pretty cool. So Isaac Maynard has an excellent question. Will the color of your labels be different if the book has had some restoration done to it? As we all know, CGC does the green. I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
No, it will not. It will say on the label that it is restored, and it will say in the bubble it's a restoration. So you will know. But that doesn't, again, we feel that doesn't mean you have to have a certain color label. Yes, do we have a label color for restoration that's a basic color like the red, the blue and the yellow? Yes, if you have a restoration book, it would be green. But we all know, how many of you dread the green label, right? So again, we don't feel like you have to have a green label just because your book is restored. You're going to be able to see on the label very clearly that it's a restored book. But why do you have to just have a green label? You could have any one of our colored labels to choose from if you like.
Nice. That's great. Bishner, he asked a really good question. Actually, would you need representation to confirm it's a certified signature on the cover?
No. We do not require a COA. If you want to include the COA, fine, but we do not require it. You do not need one.
Excellent. All right. Looks like this is the last question here from Kid Collector. Would I be able to send in a custom art to get slabbed?
No, we just do, at the moment, we're just doing comics. But it's up to you. I mean, if we've had a couple of requests before how, some people with some sketch covers were not necessarily wanting it graded. They just wanted it, in a slab. So what we would do in that case is where the grade number would go, we would just put art in there, right? So, I mean, if you're just looking for, a piece of art to go in there, we're not going to grade it or anything, but we'll encapsulate it for you and put art, on there for you if you're interested. There you go.
I got an example here. So for this book that I did the custom cover on, Thor #1 blank cover variant, custom art drawn on there. So you're saying that if I sent this in, so would you be able to give it a grade number, or would it default to the art category?
And by the way, that's Simon. Is that Simon's comic book right there?
This is Simon's commission. Yes,
he's asking what label would our commission get for that piece. So,
yeah, no, we would treat that just like any sketch cover, like the other companies do. We will grade the book.
Okay.
We will authenticate the signature if it's signed by the artist. If it's not a published artist that's doing the sketch cover, then we would ask that they send in proof of their signature for us to authenticate that was their signature on their sketch cover. But we grade the sketch covers just like we do the regular comics.
Nice. Awesome. Yep. Awesome.
And I
like that question.
Isaac corrected me, actually. CGC does purple labels for restoration, not green. Green is for something that's missing from the book. That's my bad. I made a mistake there. But, yep, you are correct.
Yep.
Tony, man, this is great. For all of you who are watching on this replay, we have this in the link below. Again, this is Tony is the president of EGS, their expert grading service. You can check them out at egscomicsgrading.com. Tony, man, we really, really appreciate you for stopping by. It's been an absolute pleasure, and We'll be watching you, man. I'm really impressed with what you do and your kind of the perspective you have going forward with it.
Thank you, guys. It was my pleasure. Thank you for having me on, man, and reaching your audience, your subscribers. And again, we're not hard to find. You've already given our web address. You could go there. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're on Twitter. You can DM us there as well if you have any questions. You can call the shop, which is on our website. You can call us. So we're very easy to get a hold of. We love talking to you guys. We love answering your questions. And again, I really appreciate you guys for giving us this platform to get out there. So we really appreciate that.
Absolutely, man. Stay safe. Take care. I'm sure we'll be in touch soon. Thanks so much, Tony.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Okay, Tony.
All right.